We're looking at Crucifixion, a mid-14th century Italian altarpiece. The altarpiece was created by a follower of Pietro Lorenzetti, a Sienese artist who specialized in painting religious altarpieces for his clients, many of which would feature paintings of Christian saints and other important biblical figures. Crucifixion is a small personal altarpiece. It was utilized as a tool of prayer for wealthy Italian Catholics who could afford to have artists paint and construct the pieces for them. The altarpieces tended to be elaborately decorated and would commonly depict figures such as the Virgin Mary or Jesus Christ. The patron, the person who paid for the piece, would usually ask the artist to add in saints that they had a personal connection to. Italian Catholics in the 14th century did not have a large level of separation between their secular life and their religious life, so many were urged by their preachers to create an area of devotion within the home. Wealthier individuals would be able to commission elaborate personal altarpieces that they could use as a central focus for their daily meditation and prayers. These small altarpieces tended to be highly personalized for the commissioner, and many would feature small images depicting saints which the commissioner had some sort of connection, although the large majority of them would place emphasis on the Virgin Mary. Many people considered their altarpieces to be a place of personal respite, and they were specifically designed to guide the owners in pious and meditative actions. Altarpieces held a large amount of personal significance to their owners, and they would often be decorated and stored alongside sentimental objects. Devotional handbooks would be created to help guide practitioners in correct prayer. Prayer was regimented and typically guided by pre-written phrases dedicated to important biblical figures and saints. Small altarpieces were made for the home. Many of them, such as this piece by Cristoforo di Bendocchio and Mio de Pero, whose names I cannot pronounce correctly, would be polyptychs, meaning they had multiple panels. These panels would regularly be hinged to allow the owner to close and open them whenever they needed to perform their daily prayers. Many altarpieces would decorate their panels with elaborate gilded frames. These frames, as well as the construction and placement of the panels, would sometimes be made to purposely mimic the architecture of Gothic cathedrals, which could be seen throughout Italy in the period. Our piece features such a frame. The main part of the piece, the bottom middle panel, is to be understood as the primary portion of the cathedral, the nave. The triangular section near the top is meant to be a spire, and has been decorated with a number of crockets, a decorative feature unique to Gothic cathedrals. These frames would create a visual allusion to the entrance of a church, meaning that when the panels are opened during prayer, it can visually transform the home from secular to religious. The painting within Crucifixion also holds devotional significance outside of its evident biblical referencing. Scenes of the Crucifixion were commonplace in altarpieces, and Pietro Lorenzetti himself has an altarpiece with an intensely similar design and construction to that of his follower. As you can see, Lorenzetti's piece is quite obviously the model for the later Crucifixion. Christ is seen flayed out upon the cross and is still flanked by the Virgin Mary, Mary Magdalene, and John the Apostle. However, the later Crucifixion shows a movement towards humanism, a new style of learning which had begun in the period. As a result, the later Crucifixion focuses more so on the pain and grief the biblical figures experience. In the later Crucifixion, Christ has a much more corpse-like appearance. His stigmata wounds are open and fresh, and they are shown dripping blood onto his body. The figures surrounding him are shown with twisted, grief-stricken faces. Although morbid, these details would allow the viewer to relate to the humanity depicted in the figures, and let them empathize and relate to the tragic scene. Ideally, this empathy would embolden their prayer. The panel also features a number of small decorative details that have been elaborately stamped into the panel's gold leaf. These decorations added a space of visual rest for the eyes, as the owner would be able to follow the patterns in a repetitive, relaxing motion as they continue their daily prayers. This would allow the viewer to essentially lull themselves into a meditative trance and aid in emptying the mind of outside worries. Although personal altarpieces varied greatly in appearance, they all held a similar role within the lives of their owners. Altarpieces would allow the devout to create their own personal devotional area, allowing them to reflect on their piety whilst giving them a break from the burdens and trials of secular life. The devotional space was an area of sentiment, meditation, reflection, and prayer, and the construction of personal altarpieces served these purposes well.